Halo Season 2. We watched episode 4. I think it was called The Fall of Reach.
I think it was just called Reach.
Or just Reach, yeah. Okay, so you want to give your score first on this one?
Sure. The episode 4. This is a 9 out of 10. I freaking loved it. I almost gave it a 10 out of 10, but I'm gonna hold my calm down. That's what I tell myself. 9 out of 10. Action was spectacular. The acting good. Even the slower scenes good. No Quan or any of that stuff. And also the other storyline with Soren and Halsey. While it was probably the weaker part of the episodes, I still enjoyed it, and it made sense to cut back to them because they're on the planet. It wouldn't have made sense if they were cutting back to like Quan, you know. But their scenes made sense in the sense of like, well, yeah, we need to know what's going on with them. But the main thing is just the action was awesome, and the way it was filmed. There's a couple like one shots, like the close combat, so good. I was sitting here like in the first 5 minutes, like I had to text you. I'm like, oh my god. This is freaking awesome. So 9 out of 10. I can't wait to talk about it. Like spoilers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we watched it at almost exactly the same time because I just finished watching it when you texted me. I pretty much agree. Yeah, I gave it a 9 out of 10. I'm very glad they did this episode justice. I don't know if it's because season 1 was so weak that it like elevated this because it just felt so different. But this was a very important episode to get right, and I feel like they got it like pretty spot on. It was definitely different than the games and like the books and other canon, but it was a really good episode with really good action, good CGI, special effects, and we'll talk about more of some things they did differently in the spoilers. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode.
There's a big thing they did different.
Yes, there is. So with that said, yeah, let's go into spoilers. So spoiler alert for Halo Season 2. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's probably the best episode of the entire show so far.
Yes, for sure. Oh, no question. Do you want to talk about the key differences first?
Yeah, so the first thing is the Spartans don't have their suits during the Fall of Reach. Obviously, we're not following the same Spartans that we did in the game, Reach, and in the game, like Master Chief's on the Pillar of Autumn in cryo sleep, so it is different.
But it worked out, I feel like.
It did work out, and the reason they didn't have their armor, I feel like, made sense too. Like, Ackerson was basically like, screw you guys, I'm taking the armor, it doesn't matter who's in it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're gonna do Master Chief without his armor, like, this is the way to do it.
And then the Covenant end up stealing Cortana. I feel like that's different. I don't know where that's going, but it also does make sense.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So I'm curious where they go with that.
Why wouldn't Ackerson take Cortana? Is it because he doesn't like Cortana?
That could be
like anything Halsey.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why else he wouldn't. You definitely think he would, right? Like if he's taking all the important stuff. But yeah, I guess he doesn't bring the Spartans, so maybe he just doesn't like Halsey's stuff, and Cortana is basically Halsey's brain.
Halsey. Well, then destroy her.
Yeah, seriously. I would think that'd be part of the Cole protocol, but whatever. And then the biggest difference is it seems like we didn't fully see, so it could be different, but it seems like Keyes is dead.
He's dead, bro.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
How would he survive that explosion?
I feel like an elite could have grabbed him and protected him, or they could do some BS like that.
Makey or whatever. Makey or whatever.
Yeah, he could be dead for sure, but they didn't they definitely did a cutaway and you don't actually see him explode, so they could still... I
saw people theorizing he's alive.
Yeah.
But I think he's dead.
If he is dead, I don't know how I feel about that, but...
I'm not saying I like it, but it was a cool death.
Yeah, it was. It's just not Keyes' death, but, you know, that's me.
It'd be her daughter, her daughter on a Pillar of Autumn, right?
Yeah, probably. I wonder if she would take the role.
Pretty much taking his role.
Yeah, that could be, but then...
It just sucks, though, because I thought the actor did a great job with him.
Yeah, I loved the Keyes actor. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, like I didn't want him to die.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with those. But
he also had a great speech.
That speech was awesome too, and I liked it because I didn't even think about it. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but like how no one even recognized John, obviously, because he's just an icon, like with being Master Chief, you know. So like when he was using him, like this is John 117, or you know him as Master Chief, everyone's like, oh my god, you know, in the face. They're like, wow, if he's here,
we have a chance.
Yeah, we have a chance, or like
to do what we
need to. That was a great speech.
So we'll see what happens with Keyes. Go ahead.
Is that Elite with Maki? Is that the Arbiter?
I've seen people speculating on that, and that was a great scene with that Elite, by the way. Like,
It was.
just they're about to one-on-one duel, and then the guy just steals it. It's like right out of the game. You just turn around and melee your teammate.
And I freaking love that, because it almost felt like respect. Like, oh, come on. I was going to 1v1 this guy, and you messed it up.
But I think that's an interesting theory, is that it could be the Arbiter, or the Elite that eventually becomes the Arbiter. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting. And there's only like one Arbiter, right? There's not like multiple.
I think there's only one Arbiter at a time. I think there have been different Arbiters in the past, if I remember correctly, but it's been a while.
Okay. But that would be cool, because their in this, if this doesn't happen, I'll be mad. We got to see him and Master Chief fight. It's like they teased it, right?
Yeah, they definitely felt like they were setting up for it to be like a rivalry kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, hey, we can't count our chickens, because remember Game of Thrones? You know what they did?
No.
Jon Snow and the Night King had a little rivalry, and guess what? They never even freaking fought for that. Yeah.
Don't
Anyways,
remind me.
we don't need to go on a Game of Thrones. One actor I thought who did awesome is the Perez actress. I thought she did great at that beginning when when her family died from the explosion and stuff, and Master Chief's like, oh, we gotta go to the where was he saying he had to go to?
The main base, whatever it was.
Main base or whatever. And she was just like, the way, like, she was crying, like, do you understand? Like, do you? I'm like, oh, like it felt believable. Like, I thought that actress did a great. I'm more interested in like 2 episodes of her than I am with Quan of like 2 seasons.
I agree. Yeah, I thought she did a great job, and I thought she's done a good job in this whole season. I've liked her addition to the cast. It definitely grounds it, having someone who's not really a warrior there in the action.
But still, like a soul. Like this is how the show should be. She should be part of the show and not Quan. Like, she's actual, a soldier. Like,
just
her
a
character
grunt,
makes
basically.
sense. Yeah, not freaking Quan. That first scene when they go into that or second scene where they go into that building with shops and stuff, and those invisible elites start coming out. That was awesome. And Master Chief freaking brawls him just hand to hand.
That was cool. Yeah. In that shop, while we're talking about the shops, I didn't go back and look, but I read that you can see an original Xbox on the shelves somewhere.
Oh, I did see that in that little shop with the lady. Yeah.
I'll put
relics of the past.
Yeah, that's funny. I'll put a picture up here. I'll grab a screenshot of it. Yeah. I thought that was cool.
But did you agree with me? Like, the way this was shot, it was so, like, the action was cool. Like, it had a lot of one-shot action scenes.
Yeah, it felt different.
Kind of chaotic.
Action. It definitely felt chaotic. There was a lot of shaky cam and like long shots. And
a good shaky cam, though, not like Jason Bourne. I don't know if you saw those ones.
Oh, yeah. But it wasn't too over the top, but it definitely made it feel chaotic, and like everything's just going crazy around them.
Feel like you were there with them in a sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, that fight was awesome. And then after that, they leave, and then that's when Master Chief talks about the story of the coin, of his luck, which I heard that's actually lore.
It is, correct? Yeah. That's in the very first book. Yep.
So Halsey recruits him with how does that work in the book?
She is basically kind of testing him and like flipping the coin, and he keeps getting it right, and she realizes that he's like watching the rotation of the coin and like figuring it out, and so she realizes that he's got the skills to be a Spartan. And and also, like, in Halo 3, Cortana talks about how Master Chief has luck, and it's kind of harkening back to him getting those 10 right in a row with the coin flips. So it's all kind of woven together.
Interesting, yeah.
And
that was a good conversation.
I liked that callback to that lore. And even in season 1, when he finds out that she like stole him as a child, it shows her flipping the coin a little bit too, if you pay attention.
I do remember that. Yeah, that was interesting. And then they, like you mentioned, they go into that shop with that old lady. There's just like, do you understand? Like, they're gonna glass this freaking planet. She doesn't care. She's pointing out these relics have been through many generations and wars and survived.
I feel like she's like, I don't want to run and find a new place. This is my home. I'm ready to just let it happen, which I get.
Yeah, Master Chief's like, she understands, Perez. And then they leave there, and then another kind of cool scene where it's down like this road, and there's not a turret, it's chaotic, and Wraith doesn't come yet, but you know what I'm talking about? They gotta run across this road, and there's some crazy freaking fighting going on, and
with Lewis blind wielding a grenade launcher and hitting stuff. Man, I want Lewis on my team. He has better aim than most of my teammates.
But yeah, they team up. They find him and what's the
Riz.
other Spartan's name? Riz. Yes.
Yep.
And they kind of form a team to go and find the main armory or whatever the heck. I think it was main armory, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked those scenes with Riz and Lewis, and when Lewis realizes that his partner got killed by the Covenant, and he sacrifices himself to go. Was it a Wraith that he took down?
Yeah.
I think it might have been.
Yeah, it was a Wraith.
Yeah,
Yep.
so he solos a Wraith.
Cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Riz, obviously gets upset, and I was almost wondering if she was gonna die the way they were kind of setting up her whole story.
I thought she might, yeah.
But all those scenes, going through the buildings and fighting more elites, and they're all awesome.
All good, yeah.
Every single one.
And I also liked, I think later on it happened, but we got to see some jackals instead of elites, which I thought was cool too. Like seeing regular,
on the hangar.
Yeah, regular people fighting jackals. They make jackals look a lot harder than in the games.
They do. Jackals are kind of freaky. They're fast, and they got shields, man.
Yeah, they seem so much smaller in the games. Like in this, they seem pretty big.
They do. I guess it's because you're playing as Master Chief, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I thought all that was good, and then of course you got the other stuff with Halsey and
Soren.
What's his name? Soren.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, your first thing was kind of funny. What was interesting too, where he's like, "I've been wondering what I'd do to you if I ever got in the same room with you." And I kind of like their back and forth, especially just like she's saying, kind of explaining, it's hard to let you go, and he's like, "What do you mean let you go? I escaped."
You could tell that really hit him. Like, what? No, you didn't let me go.
Yeah,
it like kind of shook his worldview almost.
And Soren, I like Soren. I would be okay if he stuck around the seasons. Like, he's probably going to take, what's his face's armor? Venix?
Whatever. That could be, yeah. So I have a theory, because we didn't see Kai very much this episode. Maybe, did we even see her at the beginning? I don't even think we did.
We didn't see Kai and Ackerson were not in this episode at all.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like Ackerson took Kai and has her, and Halsey has Soren, and obviously Riz and Chief are there, but I feel like they're gonna do like competing Spartan programs, possibly, where Ackerson has like Kai helping with his Spartan program, and Halsey has either Soren or Riz helping with hers, and they're gonna be possibly two different Spartan programs at the same time.
What Spartans are they? Is Master Chief Spartan 1, right?
2. Spartan 2.
So would Ackerson make like Spartan 3s then?
Yeah, and I think eventually Spartan 4s come out too. Which one are the Spartan 4s? I think those are the ones in Halo 4. There could be like Ackersons are Spartan 3s and Halsey's are Spartan 4s or something like that, depending on the timelines.
Yeah, what armor does Master Chief have in season 1 and 2?
Mark.
Do they say?
I don't think they say, but I think it's Mark 4.
What's the armor he has in Combat Evolved?
So yeah, Halo CE, it's Mark 5.
So I wonder, will he like find, or Halsey, will he do something to get the Mark 5 armor before they go into the ring? Because he doesn't have his old armor.
Yeah, probably.
Which would be pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, Halsey and Soren's stuff were good, and he was funny in it too.
So it looks like in the show, sorry, just to go back, I'm seeing that it's Gen 3 Mark 6 armor from the Infinite era. So like since this is a different timeline, it's like different kind of armor. So
you're having the Fall of Reach, and he already has
the armor from Infinite, yeah.
From Infinite? Really?
Guess so.
That's dumb. What is this, like, they call this like the silver timeline or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, I hope he gets, then I hope he, maybe he'll find some like old armor on Reach while they try to escape.
That would be interesting. I could see Halsey.
Maybe Halsey had like, Halsey has like some old armor hidden in some random armory or something.
I could definitely see that.
That would be pretty cool.
But yeah, what were you saying before I rudely interrupted you?
No, you're good. Soren kind of was a little comedic actor in this episode too.
I like him for that. He's a good little break.
Yeah, he plays good, both intense and comedic. But they pretty much worked their way up to the armory with all the soldiers, and they find
to the hangar.
Like he says to go up, ships up there for civilians. And then, there's a little joke. What did he say? He's like, 5 minutes ago I was a pirate and I'm a civilian or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like big progress. Yeah, that whole scene up there was interesting. Like you said, the jackals came. They looked huge and kind of scary when you're just a normal soldier and not a Spartan.
For sure.
The other thing is, like, did Keys really have to get out and unplug the fuel lines?
I guess so. Yeah, that's what they made him do.
Like, really, either fly away or have some scrub do it.
But that's Keys.
Yeah, I know.
But, before we got there, before we got to that scene, I just want to say that we finally got to see a scorpion in action, which was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
And having that like white phosphorus light up and you just see all the Covenant coming, that was a really cool shot.
Mm-hmm. But that's one thing, though. Another reason I give it a 10 is I wish we would have saw more fighting on that bridge. We didn't see much at all of that.
Yeah, they just pieced out from there and left people to hold it.
As a matter of fact, the whole scale of the fight wasn't as big as, like, you know, the games and stuff. But, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's budget or, I mean, obviously we're not at the end of the Fall of Reach. We didn't see the conclusion, so... Yeah.
I wonder how much of it... That was one of my questions for the future is, like, how much of a time jump is going to be in the next episode? Because sometimes they do that, you know, they time jump and just kind of talk about what happened.
Quan the next episode.
Oh, I texted you that. Like, the last time there was a no Quan episode, the next one was all Quan. Oh no.
Please don't. Please don't. I hope not, man, because I'm not joking. That will be awful. So how do you feel about Vennec's death?
That was sad. I did not expect him to die. I do have... Okay, so in the books, Linda dies in basically the exact same way. And in that, they put her in cryo-freeze, and they're able to bring her back to life later because they get her to a place with the medical technology. So there's...
Interesting.
Albeit slim, there is still a chance, although I don't know how they're getting Vannec out of there. And he was in the hangar where it, like, all exploded, I think. So, I don't know. But, you know, it did seem like Linda's quote-unquote death. So there's a chance. But yeah, I liked Vannec, and I was excited to get to know him more as a character.
The very first scene is his little birds.
I know, I love that.
He named them all. The last one was Keith. No one trusts a Keith, man. He doesn't even trust a Keith. But yeah, I thought that was a good scene in the sense of that whole scene. And of course, they saw Maku. I can never remember her name. Maku. Was this Lion King or something? Maku.
Yeah. To be fair, that does sound like a Covenant name.
Yeah, it does. That's true. Yeah, anyways, everyone saw she's there. She's alive. She saved him again. Yeah. Not yet. Well, that's what she said, right? To the elite. I wonder where that's going to.
Yeah, and she has Cortana. That's really interesting.
I wonder what her whole... I don't understand where that's heading.
Yeah, and how is Chief... I feel like Chief needs to get Cortana back this season, I would guess. I'm just curious how that's going to go.
Before they get on Halo, she needs the Cortana.
Yeah, I agree.
He can't land on Halo without Cortana. That would be a disservice. That's not right. And when he gets on Halo, it needs to be just him and Cortana for a little bit. Obviously, he can find some Marines and all that, but like...
they should do that, right?
Yeah, I think they'll do that. Like I said, maybe you'll have characters like Perez and stuff down there too, but like Chief meets soldiers throughout his journey. They don't travel with him 24/7, you know? And you need you need Cortana. You have to have the relationship. That's Halo, or the games at least. But yeah, man, I loved it. This is solid stuff. This season has been good. Like, even if this wasn't Halo, like, this would be one of my favorite sci-fis right now.
Yeah, and I would not have said the same really about season 1. So yeah, that's
no. Now I thought season 1, like we mentioned before, like if it wasn't Halo, I would think, oh, this is pretty decent. But we're just such, you know, we play the games and all that, and it's just it didn't feel like it. Yeah. I think that's why I got so excited with this episode, because I'm like, oh my god, this is kind of like, I know Master Chief isn't in a suit, but this the war aspect and the style, like this is what I pictured Halo.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And seeing him use all the weapons, I think he used an assault rifle and a battle rifle, and seeing him kill all the jackals and elites and the different tanks, and it definitely felt more like
hand-to-hand combat. But yeah, I'm very curious where this goes. The only thing that, like we mentioned before, that's holding me back is I know we have all this Quan crap we got to get through.
Let's hope it's quick and then go back to the Spartans.
And we don't know what about Pi and Ackerson? There's just so much more interesting story. We don't need Quan in them. Like, they literally so I saw a theory about this. The only thing that might be interesting is if Quan in them, if that's how they're going to introduce like the flood or something. They run into the flood or something like along those lines.
They'd have to be the first ones to Halo though, because that's where they find the flood.
I mean, would they though?
Yeah, true. It may not even follow that. That's true. I'd be okay if Quan was the first one to find the flood. First one taken over by the flood.
Yeah, and then Master Chief sees the video, and it's Quan.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
I will admit though, I cannot wait. I don't know if they will, but if they introduce the flood, they better do it like a horror movie.
Yeah, I mean that's what the game felt like.
Yeah, like the flood is terrifying. So seeing the flood in live action would be so cool, I think.
Yeah, I feel like that they could make him look really gruesome and creepy.
Especially for people like I'm trying to think, I was reading a review of like someone where like his wife is watching with him and she never played Halo, but she likes the show. So like seeing someone who's never played Halo like introduced to the flood, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that would be.
That's the only way I'm okay with. Well, I'm not even okay. I'll have Quan in them, but like at least maybe have them introduce the flood, or they run into like a flood ship, or maybe they do make it to. I don't know, or just cut their storyline off.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Right though, like if this show would not change if they were cut off, right? Like
yeah, and we still got the whole finding the kid again, and like there's just so much stuff I don't care about with that.
All that's pointless, right? Like it doesn't need to be in the show. It adds nothing to the show. Whereas we could be focusing on Ackerson and Kai, and then Perez and them on that ship, and then Chief and them still, and Halsey and them still on Reed, and then I guess even Cortana with McKee and Covenant. Like there's so much more interesting stuff.
It's all more interesting.
You got Quan and what's her face saving a kid we don't care about.
Even like Miranda Keyes, we haven't seen very much. We've seen more Quan than Miranda.
I know. Miranda, we've seen her, I think, like once, like a quick...
in like the first episode or something.
I do wonder if they're gonna... The new showrunners are kind of... They know people don't like her, if they're gonna tease... If they are gonna kill her off eventually, like maybe this is her final... Maybe they're gonna write her off this season, but it's just taking all season.
Yeah, that's possible.
Or maybe I'm just hoping.
Yeah.
Because you can tell the writers are abandoning old storylines a little bit. How come they kept Quan? I don't get it.
I don't know. They had the perfect way to do it too. Oh, Madrigal got glassed. Oh well.
Yeah, the perfect way. What does the Quan actors have on them, man? You got something.
I feel like what you said in the last time we talked about this, where they're like trying to get us to like her. They like the challenge of making that character interesting.
You're right. I hope she could die. She should find the flood. You're right. Wouldn't that be an end, man?
That would be a way to go out.
Quan gone and the flood introduced. Woo! Anyways, 9 out of 10. I love it. I'm worried about the next episode. I'm not gonna lie. So we'll see if my enthusiasm stays as high.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a great episode. Worried about the next one, but maybe we'll be wrong.
Thought this episode was gonna be all Quan episode, so they flipped it. Yeah. This one was the Reach episode. Next one's gonna be Quan, and then they'll go back to Reach in episode
6.
Wait, what episode did we just watch?
We watched 4, yeah.
So 5 will be Quan, 6 will be Reach again, 7 will be getting Cortana and stuff, and then 8 maybe at the end finding the Halo ring. That's what I think is going to happen, unfortunately.
I think that's a pretty good call, yeah.
And I don't know about Ackerson and Kai. I really don't. I wonder how much we even see of them the rest of the season.
True. They could just be in the background doing stuff and it'll show up in season 3 or something.
Which is fine. Let it marinate, and they set it up pretty good. So, anywho, alrighty, that's all I got.
Good episode.